All right, let's clap it up. Episode 69 of the 5ASIDE podcast. Even though it's dropping before episode 68 is the Matrix. It is Halloween. Don't worry about it. Today you are joined by
Seb. I'm with the propaganda bros today.
Let's get it.
Wow.
Big time. Gabriel.
Kendrick.
We got a lot. Let's get straight into it, bro. Let's get straight into it. Today has been the day.
Can I offer something first?
Let's get into the nitty gritty.
What's up?
Just to mess with y'all a little bit.
Dude, mess with me. It's fine.
All right. Someone today at the office said that Real Madrid fans are like Trump supporters.
Wow. Whoa.
And I'll explain. They said that when Trump supporters lose, they're up in arms. They're all over the place. They're talking crazy. They're talking about, oh, everything's unfair. Everything's rigged. Everything's against us. When they win, they're talking about, oh, we're the best. We deserve it.
Sports fans.
Someone
of
said
all
that
teams.
y'all, as Real Madrid fans, specifically Real Madrid fans, tend to whine a lot when y'all lose, but are extremely arrogant when y'all win.
I mean,
Say what you will.
They are.
I would say that's all great sports organizations.
They are Los Blancos.
Yeah. The Celtics, the Lakers.
I think it went over his head.
Real Madrid.
Didn't go over mine.
They do go.
I know
Blancos.
it. I know what Los Blancos means. You are Los Blancos.
Anyways.
Yeah, I think it's more that Trump supporters treat politics like sports. I think that's more what it's about.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Sports fans be wilding over the... Yeah, bro. So, also, I'm a Knicks fan. They're shit sometimes. Not right now. Same vibes. So, I wouldn't
Yeah, I
just
think
put that
that's a
around
little
Madrid.
unfair.
It's sports fans,
It
bro.
wasn't me who said it.
The point is
No,
that Trump
it's just
supporters
like-
act like sports fans over politics, which is not...
Yeah, I think that's.
That's
more
what
it is.
Yeah.
Every team whines.
Yeah,
when
of
they
course.
take
You have to
a loss.
whine. Come on, bro.
You think you guys don't whine disproportionately?
No.
Okay.
But also, everything's just bigger with Madrid. You know what I mean?
do think a better comparison would have been the fact that when Trump lost, he didn't just take the loss.
That's fair.
And when Real Madrid found out that Vini wasn't going to win the Ballon d'Or, they were like, we're not going. Like,
We're not showing up.
the,
Not one
the
person.
validity of the whole thing
But
is
also-
in question versus
Right.
just being like, we lost.
Right.
Yeah, but that's also just award
It's the same thing
shows.
as like, the election process is flawed. Trump should have, you know what I'm saying? Not the same thing, but
I think it's more
Something
once
there.
again that Trump is acting like the rapper who didn't win Best Rap Album. Not that the rapper who didn't win Best Rap Album is acting like Trump. Because, it's like
Yeah.
politics and like electing the president
You're
of
right,
the
but that's
country.
just not as fun.
Yeah.
You're definitely right.
Facts don't matter, right?
No, not at all.
Nah, but let's just get into it.
stupid.
Today was the 2024 Ballon d'Or ceremony.
Yep.
Lots of controversy about it, but we can go straight into the just overall list of winners to kind of start off with a general overview. So the men's Ballon d'Or was won by Rodri. Congrats to him.
Ooh.
Women's Ballon d'Or was won by Aitana Bonmati. She wins it yet again. The Yashin Trophy for the best goalkeeper to Emi Martinez.
Boo.
God,
Big
this is
boo.
stinky.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Very stinky. We're over-indexing on international competition. We're over-indexing on international competition. We really are.
Yeah.
Because he's a good goalkeeper, of
Emi
course, but guys,
Martinez?
come on. Anyways, we'll keep it pushing. The Copa Trophy for the best young player in the world, Lamine Yamal. I think that's a pretty easy
Yeah.
choice. Top two coaches,
We like
men's
that.
and women's, or the number one coach for men's and women's, Carlo Ancelotti, Emma Hayes. I think those make sense as well. And then best men's club goes to Real Madrid. Obviously, La Liga and the Champions League.
Could have gone to Leverkusen.
Yeah, who didn't win the biggest European competition. Anyways, and then best women's
went
club
undefeated.
goes to Barca. They didn't. They lost in the final and got
guy's
clapped
the
by
worst.
your guys.
This guy's
In
the
Bundesliga, I'm
worst.
saying.
This
In
Huh?
guy's
In Bundesliga, they went undefeated.
Finish.
That was great.
Finish your thing, bro.
Already did. Best women's club Barca.
He's on one
won
today.
it again.
He's
Not
like-
really. Not as
he
much
can't-
as you
he
think.
can't
Every time he puts this jersey on, he goes crazy.
The spirit of the what is this?
Of the Mestalla Stadium.
The spirit of the
You know
spirit
what
of the
I'm saying?
Messiah is in
Come
him.
on, bro. So that's the overall list of winners, but we can get into, of course, the drama.
Yeah.
So it was announced earlier today that Vini Jr. did not win the Ballon d'Or.
Yo,
And Dani
Fabrizio?
Carvajal did not win the Ballon d'Or. Now, my question is this. Was Fabrizio the first person to report it, or did Real Madrid on their own terms first announce that they would not be coming because of this? Because the way I saw the news, it felt like Real Madrid was owning their own story.
I saw the opposite. I
saw-
saw
So if it was Fabrizio, and then Madrid was, okay, so he was the very first person.
I saw Fabrizio talk about how it looks like Vini isn't going to be winning this.
and
And then Fabrizio talking about Real Madrid will not be traveling to the Ballon d'Or.
Oh, so
That's-
maybe Fabrizio broke it, and they're like, "Oh, we're not getting on that flight."
Yeah,
Oh,
perhaps.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I know this goes back to the convo.
Yeah, because we talked about like a couple weeks ago whether or not Fabrizio and just the way that he breaks all these news before it's
Yeah.
official,
Yep.
whether that's like ruining like the sport or whether it's just beneficial or not. And like when I saw the post today that was like, oh, Vini Jr. will not win the Ballon d'Or, Real Madrid will not travel, it kind of just like ruined it because I was like, the whole point of like these ceremonies is like the suspense.
Yep.
Like you watch, you wait until the person comes up and
Yep.
like, and the winner is
Yeah.
opens the envelope. Everybody's like, oh my god!
Right.
So to like to spoil it hours in advance, make it into like a whole thing,
Dramatic.
and now like
spectacle.
Rodri's can't really celebrate as much because the whole internet is talking about Vinny being snubbed. Like all the attention is on that. Like everybody loses in this situation.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
good for
like
Except him.
nobody's like, huh?
Except him.
Except for him, because he gets to say like, "Oh, look, I'm the guy that knows everything." But it's kind of like, all right. At first, it was cool, and I was like, "You're kind of a know-it-all," and we just want to like experience things in real time.
Do you think it would have come out regardless?
No.
Because do you think Florentino Perez was asking France Football, I need to know before we get on this plane that one of my guys won?
So I think it's about the image of it. I think it's embarrassing to send the whole team over there when you know that your best player has been disrespected like that. When
But
everyone else knows, when the entire world knows. Because then it's embarrassing for Vinny walking in that room.
Oh, no, of
You didn't
course.
answer the question.
No, what I'm asking
I
is,
did.
do you think this news would have come out regardless of Fabrizio because Florentino Perez was talking to France Football saying, I need to know this before we get on the plane? Like, do you think Madrid, you know what I'm saying? And
I
then
don't
Madrid
think-
would have made the announcement. And they
I
would've
don't
owned it.
think Perez, like the, I mean, he's a very like old school mindset type of guy.
Yeah.
I don't think his issue is whether or not his team knew about Vinny winning or not. I think it's
Okay.
about the whole world knowing. I think it's
Okay.
I think it's embarrassing for his. He's like a proud dad,
still
right?
not answering
I
the
am.
question.
You'll see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
His question is essentially, is it it was the decision to not send Real Madrid to the Ballon d'Or made due to the fact that Perez did or didn't know?
No, he's just asking, do you think it would have came out? Even
Like, do you think
That's what I'm saying.
Perez?
I don't. So he's basically asking, would it have come out because Perez would have called up France Football and
Yes.
asked? I'm saying, even if Perez called up France Football and France Football told him, no, Vinny's not going to win it tonight.
You think so?
In Perez's mind, the issue is not whether or not he himself knows. The issue is whether or not the entire world knows. Now, I don't think that the entire world would have found out if Fabrizio hadn't put that out. I think there's very few journalists that have the level of access.
Yeah,
that
okay,
he
I
has.
see what you're saying.
So my thing is, even if Perez knows that Vinny is not going to win, he's still sending the team out of respect for
Because-
the organization.
and then Carlo and the team get their awards.
Exactly.
That's fair.
But the moment that Perez sees that the
The world.
entire world knows that Vinny's not going to win this, he's not sending his boys out there. It's embarrassing for them.
Yeah, 'cause
he's like a
that's right.
mafia boss. That's
it turned
embarrassing.
Yeah.
it into like a typical award ceremony where
Exactly.
everybody's attend, they have fun.
Exactly.
Some people lose, some
Exactly.
people win.
Yeah.
It turned it from that to like oh look, this person got violated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm
Like,
not sending my boys to get
You
violated.
can't. You
I'm
can't.
not.
Yeah.
Then it's just sad because the
Exactly.
whole time they're just
Exactly.
there.
It
It
knowing,
happens
like,
with the Grammys too. You're that's where you're supposed to know. Yeah.
Yep.
It's tough. I mean, so we're getting. I mean, I will say one thing I was realizing, like, this felt like a little bit of a landmark moment for the award ceremony, which has been under supreme scrutiny in the last few years. Lots of debate with Messi winning it last year.
Yeah.
Lots of debate with them taking it away from what seemed to be guaranteed for Lewandowski in 2020, and it just seems to be slowly. I guess the way the Ballon d'Or was valued in the Ronaldo-Messi era, where it was everything we felt like it was, for the most part, correctly decision. Maybe 2013, Ribéry could have won it. Should Iniesta or Xavi taken it over Messi, whatever it is. Has this award now slowly turning down? And is it going to maybe in 20 years not be how we thought about it in history and how we think about it now?
My solution to this issue, because the answer to your question is absolutely. The Ballon d'Or is like you said, it's slowly losing value. It's quickly losing value.
Yeah, this-
quickly.
this-
Rodri is by far the worst Ballon d'Or winner ever. By far. That's not a crazy thing to say. No, no, bro.
That's hard
If
to-
you look at the list of Ballon d'Or winners,
the worst
Is
ever.
he worse? But okay,
No,
watch
yes,
this. They're
yes,
all legends.
Yes, yeah. There's no one in the comment section watching this clip right now going, Seb, he's the worst.
The thing
ever.
is this, though. They won't
Ever.
know.
Ever.
Shout out Liez and Kim who were talking about Nedved's 2003 season. Somebody who didn't know about that 2003 season could say someone like a Nedved type vibe.
Messi.
Somebody could say Fabio Cannavaro, your
Yeah,
guy.
let me hear. I want to know.
Yeah.
Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Michel Platini, Cruyff, Van Basten, Beckenbauer, Ronaldo the Brazilian, Di Stefano, Luis Suarez, the Spaniard, Eusebio, Bobby Charlton, Copa, Gerd Muller, Zinedine Zidane, Johnny Rivera, Ruud Gullit, Lothar Matthäus, Roberto Baggio, Stoichkov, Shevchenko, George Best, Ronaldinho, Nedved, Michael Owen, Rivaldo, Luis Figo,
Those are all of them ever?
Rodri.
Those are all of them ever?
These are some. These are some.
Okay.
You think Rodri is worse? I mean, Rodri is better than Bobby Charlton. I mean,
do.
Rodri is worse than Bobby Charlton.
I do.
He's one of England's best players ever. Won them their only World Cup. Like,
I don't think Rodri is one of Spain's best players ever.
yeah,
I don't think so at all. He's not even Spain's top 15 midfielders ever.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
even
the
top
thing
20.
is, how do we compare him to Gianni Rivera from 1969 from Italy?
We
that's what I was
can't
gonna say as
in
well.
terms of his. We can't in terms
And, like,
of his
we
skills.
don't know
He
about
was
Rivera.
shit. His
can't-
fitness was shit.
Smoking cigs on the side.
Bro,
No.
Figs
No,
and
but that's
pizza.
not fair. That's not fair because
Figs and
Rivera
pizza
was
pies.
competing. Rivera was competing with everyone around him and
Yeah, it's
everyone
fair.
before him.
Yeah.
Rodri's competing with everyone around him and everyone before him.
Yeah.
And bro, he's not. I mean, come
I
on.
will say this. I mean, I don't even want to get into is he the worst ever.
No, but he is. He is the worst ever.
He did win the Prem, and he did
wasn't
win the
even
Euros.
Them niggas didn't even nominate him.
I will say
They
this.
themselves
The
didn't
best
even
player
nominate
in the
him, bro.
Prem
That's
last
crazy.
season
That's crazy.
was Phil Foden. He won the award for it. And in
He's
the
not
biggest...
on their short list.
What do you
He's
mean?
not on the short list for best players.
You're saying last year?
Yeah.
Wait, what are you saying?
Rodri was not shortlisted as one of the best
Players
players
of-
in the Premier League this season.
But he did make the top 11, like the best 11 of the season.
I am almost sure that I saw.
I'm sure he
somewhere-
was the CDM of the year. For sure. No, but I mean, people do talk. I think one of the best comparisons isn't just stats necessarily, but also the key moments of impact that led to the trophies that were secured. When I think about Real Madrid's La Liga season, we'll start with Jude started the job. Vini finished the job in terms of winning that title. Jude had that incredible first half of the season. We're all talking about him. Like, could he become one of England's best players ever? We saw the late winners, all that. He had a very good season. And Jude still continued to have a good season after all the goals he scored. But then when Vini got his form, after his recovery from injury, he completely dominated the second half of the La Liga season, not just with his goals and with his assists, but that entire left pitch of Real Madrid's attack has been won. Whoever they play, they know the left flank, we win that side of the field. You can't guard him. You're none of your right back, left backs, whoever, center backs can guard him. When you add the second defender, you can't guard him. The overall impact he has on the Real Madrid offense to create space, beat defenders, get the goals, get the assists, the movement, there's nothing you can do. His impact on the game, to me, is just more. And then again, it's the key moments. He scored some of our biggest goals in La Liga to win that. He scored twice in the semifinals, the Champions League against Bayern, and then again in the final to win the Champions League. That, to me, is more than Rodri's impact, who still had an amazing season with Man City in the Prem. In the Prem, the biggest moments, and I watched these games because I wanted City to lose. Phil Foden was scoring crazy bangers from outside. He was the player of the season. He won the award, and he clearly was City's best player. And it looked like they were his team, and he scored the biggest goals and had the biggest moments. Now, I'm also Spanish, and I watched Rodri dominate and watch Spain win the Euros, which was an amazing moment for me. I'm a Real Madrid fan, and I'm Spanish, so I'm a Spanish national team fan. But there's overall impact in the biggest moments to get those trophies that were won. Vini, for me, did more for Real Madrid than Rodri did for Man City or Spain, because you could look at, Lamine Yamal's contribution, Dani Olmo, Nico Williams, these sort of guys, and what they did in the final and the semifinals. Carvajal, who won La Liga, the Champions League, and the Euros. And if we're saying stats are not all that matters, he dominated the entire right flank, whether it was locking down some of the best wingers in the world, getting late winners to help win La Liga, all the assists that he had, and just the overall contribution, how much he improved his fitness from the year before. Not that that's why he won the Ballon D'Or, but I'm just saying he was able to, through his fitness, have such a better season on the right flank.
Bro.
And I do agree with Real Madrid, and obviously I'm a Real Madrid fan wearing a Real Madrid jersey, but I do agree that if Vini doesn't win it, by the Rodri logic, Carvajal should win it.
Thank you.
I think that's fair.
Thank you.
I think that's fair.
Explain.
I mean, I think Vini, first off, he had the best stats.
No, but based on that logic, go into the logic. If Vini doesn't win it, then
If
based
Vini
on the
doesn't
logic-
win it and you're putting that much emphasis on the international trophy success, then why not give it to the guy who had a phenomenal season that also, like Rodri's, was not all about stats.
Exactly.
That won La Liga,
Exactly.
the Champions League, and the Euros.
It's simple math, right?
Yeah.
It's math. At that point, it just becomes math. If you give it to Rodri over Vini because Rodri won the Euros, then you have someone like Carvajal who won Champions League, La Liga, and the Euros. So
and beat Man City and had a
Exactly.
phenomenal season.
Exactly.
Obviously, then, but if you're saying it's not all about stats and this and that, well, he's still a defender. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it should have been Vini. If it's not Vini, I think it should have been Carvajal by that logic.
Yeah.
Again, shout out Rodri. You had an amazing season. I'm Spanish. I'm so happy that we won the Euros. You're an amazing defensive midfielder. One of the most consistent players I've seen. Speedy recovery from injury, too.
Yeah.
I think Vini has to win it, bro. I think he does.
It's dawning on me how disgusting it is that
It's just-
Rodri will tell his children that he has a Ballon d'Or. That's disgusting.
And watch this. Rodri should have probably won it when they won the Champions League. Give it to him then.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just
He wasn't
don't.
even nominated for Player of the Season in the Prem.
That's wild. But
But he won the Ballon d'Or?
yeah.
He wasn't I'm not saying he didn't win it. He wasn't nominated.
Yeah. One thing one of my friends sent me earlier is the list of assessment criteria.
Oh, you brought it up. Thank you.
That the journalists who are voting must consider. We don't have that full list, but people say that like some of the things that are typically considered are how successful the team they're playing for was that season, players' individual behavior and contribution, and elements of fair play. It's my theory that Vini lost because of his individual behavior and character and how he's perceived in the media. People see him
That's
as
what the Brazilians were saying.
people see him as a villain.
Mhm.
People see him as like a guy that's just like out there to
Cause trouble.
cause trouble. He's arrogant. He is always like getting into fights and whatnot with players and fans. And I think like that played a big part in how the voting committee, whoever, kind of perceive like, okay, who's the person that we want to champion in European football this season? And when you think about that, you're like, you don't want it to be a black man who's known for being arrogant and disruptive to like peace.
It's possible.
You know what I mean?
It's possible.
And even at the watch party, so we were at the watch party for Real Madrid and Barcelona El Clasico this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Lots of people there. I kept overhearing people talking about Vini at like how much they hate him. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh, this guy's so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, he's good, but like, why does he always have to flop? Why is he always like egging people on? Why is he always like that? And I think that plays a big role in Vini getting snubbed this year.
Yeah. Do you think it was more character or more race? Because what they do have, Marca, which is the biggest newspaper in Spain, was saying how in Brazil they're seeing this potentially through a lens of racism, in which they say, you know, por ser negro tienes que ser el doble de bueno. So, you know, to be black, you have to be twice as good to get what you deserve, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot today, honestly, because I feel like as a black athlete or a black artist or a black anything, you're expected to be like modest and humble.
For sure.
Like you're expected to be the like LeBron James archetype. Like you never get in trouble. You never say anything that's like bad to the
And they
media.
still hated on him too.
You don't start fights. You just kind of cut, clean, humble, come up story. He was in the hood. Now he's rich. Whatever. But it's unfair because why is it that we're always expected to be like the most humble and quiet person in the room, right? Like soccer is a competitive sport. We're supposed to be hype. We're supposed to like when Real Madrid scores on Barcelona, we want to see Vini go to the fans and be like, "What's up?" Like, we're here. We beat y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want that. But for some reason, if you're black and you're successful, you're not supposed to be confident. Confidence is always mistaken for arrogance.
That's
it's
why.
like just let him be confident in who he is and a generation, the generational talent that he is.
And that's some of the perception of like the over niceness they love to see of Conte.
Yeah.
And Saka.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I saw some comments about that and how like that's how you should be versus, you know, we see how like Raheem Sterling was treated in England. We see how Vini's being treated now, Balotelli, who we'll get to later. And even they're saying the early perception of Lamine Yamal is this super humble, nice kid smiling with the braces matching the color of his jersey and all that. But he's only 17.
That was hard, by the way.
Fire. And shout out that brand, 2Js. I have jewelry from them. It's a Spanish jewelry
Such
brand. That's
well-timed,
fire.
bro.
And I'm a Real Madrid fan. Bro, sometimes you just gotta put your hands up. That was fire. He did that. Luna, you should have saved it though. Look at me started. But yeah, bro, I feel like that's part of it too. And when Lamine Yamal starts getting a little more sassy, starts dancing a little more, and then this and that happens, and maybe he should have passed it. The narrative change, it happens to every black athlete.
Like
bro. You know what I mean?
Today I saw a thread on Twitter that was like, oh, like for other people that feel bad for Vini, like watch this thread. And it's supposed to be a thread of like bad moments from Vinicius Jr. And it's literally just like him dancing after scoring a goal, or him getting in Rodrigo de Paul's face, like on the pitch, saying like, "Oh, I play for Real Madrid, you play for Atletico." Like him, like basically like talking shit to his opponents, or just like being hype after winning a game and scoring a goal. And it's like, bro, what do you want to see on the field? Like, you want to see everybody just being like shaking hands and like clapping after each other? Like, what are we supposed to see? But then when we see a player like a Jordan Henderson, who's like cussing out his own teammates and getting in people's faces and doing like dirty tackles and stuff like that, they call it passion.
Proper lad.
They call it like, oh, he's getting stuck in, like he's you know what I'm saying? But when it's a Vini, it's he's arrogant, he's an asshole, he's always causing problems. And it's like, bro, we see the divide. Like, it's not...
Bro, watch this.
It's not low-key.
Look at Man City. Look how they treat Jack Grealish.
Exactly.
Well, I fuck with him, actually. Him being the party boy. He's just a goofy guy versus Raheem Sterling.
100%.
Tired. Bro, like, we know what it is. We know what it is.
Question for y'all. Why is there not an award similar to the Academy Awards in film in which those entities who are actually in the industry and are actually actors, or in our case, actually athletes, voting on the best player?
Doesn't the NBA do that?
The NBA has... The journalists have a vote, though, too. Like, Stephen A. has a vote.
You know what I'm saying?
But the players have a...
they
It's like
do.
a Players Association award for, like, the players vote on who they think the best
I think
player.
so, yeah.
I'll look it up.
I feel like if there was an award in soccer where basically you had to almost be grandfathered into an association where you can vote, similar to how it's done in film, where, like,
Film has its issues, too, though, with the...
I agree.
Of course.
Oscars too white,
definitely has
I see what
issues.
you're saying, though.
Yeah,
However, that, in my opinion, is way more prestigious than journalists voting.
Yeah.
When you have Ronaldo and Messi and Ronaldo the Brazilian and all of these legends, Thierry Henry, all of them are voting on who they think was the best player that year. That is the award that I think.
So this voting was straight journalists?
It's just journalists. It's journalists from all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's why oftentimes players from specific countries that have more representation and more journalists finish higher.
Mm-hmm.
Because their journalists have more of a say because they're just more people.
Yeah.
Vote.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This shit's crazy. This is a big deal. Honestly, Brazilians are out here saying football is done. Richarlison's out there. No, literally. Richarlison was saying that. This, I think Lemina, I think he plays on West Ham.
Yeah.
Brazil is just fed up with it.
The
I
other
feel like
thing-
they feel the stain of Neymar not winning it, which we can get into too.
And the other thing about Brazil, it's not, and Real Madrid as well, it's not just Vini that got snubbed. It's Rodrigo that also gets snubbed by not even showing up on the list in terms of a nominee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why was Lamine Yamal nominated above Rodrigo? And I'm a Spanish...
That's not a fair comparison. There's other
I'll give you an example. Well, okay.
There's other people that you should call
Of course.
out for
But
Lamine Yamal. Lamine should be on the list.
No,
There's
he
people that
should.
shouldn't be on the list.
He
that
should. And as good as he is, his La Liga stats and Champions League stats were nowhere near Rodrigo's, who won both competitions. Now, I know he was 16 last season, so we want to, there's nothing, negative we want to say about it. And I'm Spanish. I saw him score against France. We won the Euros and everything. But from a statistical standpoint and club success, how is Rodrigo not there? That, to me, is crazy. He was on, was he not on the nominees list at all?
Rodrigo?
Yeah.
No, he's not on the list at all.
That's absolutely...
Odegaard on the list?
That's absolutely...
Çalhanoğlu?
That's absolutely insane. It's a joke, bro.
Odegaard is crazy. Odegaard is...
Well, I'm not mad,
Odegaard is...
This is a 30...
Vitinha?
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a 30-person shortlist. Odegaard can be 27.
Yeah,
how is Rodrigo?
It's the fact that he's there.
Give Vitinha out. Give Vitinha. But I'm saying Rodrigo was so good. Even Lamine Yamal last year did not have a better year than Rodrigo. Right now, how he's playing, absolutely. And this kid's gonna be
Declan Rice?
Yeah, what are we doing, bro?
What did Declan Rice win? Did he win anything?
No, of course not.
Arsenal, England?
Maybe Community Shield, not even. Yeah. So, second place though for Arsenal. That's they love that shit.
So if the Brazilians are saying football is dead, football might be dead, bro.
I mean, Neymar never won it, which is pretty crazy too.
Them Brazilians are emotional a little bit.
Of course they are.
A lot of bit.
Jogo bonito, man. That's the passion, bro. It's passion. They got 5 stars. They need that 6.
So what did Vini say? What did Vini say today?
Vinny said, let me get the exact
Put a
quote.
statement out?
Yeah. I mean, it was really quick.
It was a one-line.
We posted it on Wavy. Now this right here, this is how the villain arc happens after the 4-0 loss, which is humbling coming after the amazing performance against Dortmund.
Yeah.
He thought, at least I'm probably going to get my Ballon d'Or, get snubbed. And now he goes to the Mestalla, where he wore this jersey, scored the 2, put the fist up after the racism he suffered. So his first game after being snubbed will be at the Mestalla Stadium. The People's Champ said, I'll do it 10 times if I have to. They're not ready. He about to wild out. This is such a good arc.
Bro,
this is such
Valencia's
a good
in
arc.
trouble, bro.
Oh, Valencia's also dead last, by the way. So good luck.
Is in trouble.
Good luck.
That stadium's gonna be crazy.
Good.
Bro.
These fans. Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, what's next for Vini? I just think he's gonna have another amazing season.
Yeah.
Period. I don't know what else to tell you. The way he's playing to start this year, I mean, look at the hat trick against Dortmund, the types of goals he was scoring. He took that thing 60 yards down the wing, cut inside, shot from out.
Yeah.
And I know Rodri is a center defensive midfielder. We don't expect him to do that. But that's part of the impact, that Vini can pick a ball up 60 yards and get a goal in 7 seconds.
That's my other point. Last thing.
The impact, bro. Yeah.
I think kids need to say your name when they do something on the field. I don't care if you're a defender. When they make a tackle, the kids should say your name. I don't care if you're a midfielder. When they play a long pass, they should say De Bruyne when they pass the ball. They should say Carvajal when they make the tackle. They should say Vini Jr. when they do the skill. They should say Harry Kane when they score. I don't care what type of player you are. Your name should have impact culturally to win the Ballon d'Or. I have never heard a kid say Rodri on the field. Rodri, you do what and say Rodri? You do what and say Rodri?
Make a really good, clean tackle and then a nice through ball to split the lines. Underrated, they'll say. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Carvajal did that too, actually. So
Come on, bro.
Sorry.
One man standing. Fucking hell.
Anyways.
He caught us straight.
I do want to also mention.
But I mean, congratulations to the boy. It's not his fault.
Of course, bro.
It's not his fault. He
Once
didn't get to
again,
vote.
I am Spanish. Rodri dominated for us and helped us win our Euros in a year that we probably didn't expect to.
He's lucky he doesn't have Instagram, though.
He doesn't have Instagram?
No, boring ass nigga. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's how it should be. He's so humble.
He probably went offline after he got.
He's never had it.
Oh.
Yeah. But one other thing I did want to talk about was, again, this is something that comes from France Football and L'Equipe being one of the bigger French publications, if not the biggest when it comes to footy in France. Their official live stream was like showing memes of Vini and memes of Mbappe, making fun of them. And people thought maybe that was a response to like Real Madrid being anti-France football right now. Like, what do we think about such an official publication? With like, I think it was Lamine holding his little brother and they put Vinny's head on it or some shit like that. Like the L'Equipe was sharing that. I think it's a bit wild, but hey, what do we expect from the journalists?
They put Osimhen on a coconut, so.
Oh, actually, one other thing. Your man, Tony Kroos.
I hate him. I hate him so much. I saw that shit. I hate him so much. He's my least favorite player ever. Tony Kroos can kick rocks. I swear to God.
Chill.
I hate that guy.
Chill, bro.
I hate
we
Tony
need him
Kroos.
this season, man. We need him this season.
Him.
He said, it's so funny too because he got 9th place at the Ballon d'Or. He said, "Wow, thanks a lot." That was his tweet response.
I hate him.
He said, "I've never seen the importance of these individual awards in football. They have no place."
Before that, he said Rodri will win, by the way.
Huh?
Before that, he said, I think Rodri will win.
Yeah, he said Vinicius is the best and should, but he thought Rodri would win. So.
I don't like Tony Kroos.
I know you don't. But thoughts on that about individual awards? Like, is this much to do about, like, what do we think?
Matter. Of course they matter. Individual awards matter.
Yeah. I think they matter, but if it's kind of like, if we're going to keep doing this, it has to just be based on stats. I'm sorry. Like, it has to be some...
And like an AI, crazy AI, yeah.
No, not even crazy AI. It just has to be some mathematical equation.
I disagree. Players should vote. Players should vote.
But
I feel you
it has to be
stats,
something that's not biased.
But there has to be an agreement on how
players
much
are
each
biased.
Thing counts.
If you cook me mad times, I'm not voting for you.
No. You can't be a current. Former players.
Even that is still biased.
Either a committee of like, legends or math. Like it has to be your goals, assists, goal contributions plus
Harry Kane
titles.
But with stats though, it would have to get very advanced and include things like dribbles and tackles and line breaks. That's why I was saying that if you have a crazy algorithm where they're Opta. If Opta had their Ballon d'Or and they said it is based on this algorithm,
I'm not gonna lie,
you can plug in the numbers and see how
Lautaro would have won it then.
And
Lautaro would have won it.
I mean,
gonna talk about
nice little shout. Champions League wasn't as good though.
The Inter-Juve match.
I mean,
absolutely ridiculous. We'll get into that. I didn't watch it before.
I love my league, bro.
I only caught the second half, but the second
That's
half.
great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think anything else. I think, I mean, Big moment, Ballon d'Or. We'll see what happens moving forward.
I just feel I have to say on the record, I just feel bad for bro.
Vinny?
Rodri? Or Vini?
Vinny, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I just feel like it's one of those moments where you watch somebody that like works so hard at their craft
Yeah.
and like does everything that they're supposed to do
Yeah.
and doesn't get the award that they like wanted so badly. It's just like, damn, bro, like what else do you have to do?
Mhm.
And I just can't help but feel it has a lot to do with like the way he expresses himself.
I think
and kind
so
of the
too.
reputation that he's made for himself.
He also
But
plays
it's
for
like,
a
is
club
this-
that isn't liked by the organization.
They're liked by Ballon d'Ors though. They have the most Ballon d'Ors, but it's also because it's Madrid. Like they've had the best players in history. So,
I don't want it. I don't want it to become a thing where we stop getting players who are like that. I don't want this to be a moment where like
Oh, that's
players are
interesting.
like, oh,
That's
I
interesting.
need to be more tamed. I need to be less like
That's very
passionate. I need to give less like
yeah,
be less of a villain because I'm not gonna win these awards. I need to be like the quiet little Lionel Messi.
yeah.
I don't know, like
But that's why I love. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. That they're not ready for it. I'll do it 10 times more. Like the one thing Vinny is known for is his relentlessness. Like
Yeah.
that's how he plays the game.
True.
Yeah.
That goal he scored, taking it 60 yards, and then
Bro.
the outside the box, just like, and that was so beautiful because that looks like the Ballon d'Or right there.
yo,
You know what I mean?
It was
It
like
felt
yeah, he
like
got
it.
it.
Because
when
no
you-
one can do that.
I was about to
Mbappe's not
say-
doing that,
I was about
bro.
to say,
Like,
when you see shit like that, bro, like when you watch that shit
the eye
live,
test. Bring
when you-
back the
when
eye
you-
test,
when
bro.
you-
Watch Vinny play.
when you
Come on.
watch that shit live,
I
you
think
just
players need to vote.
when I saw that goal, bro,
Nah, it was ridiculous.
my
It was-
chest sunk. I
Yeah.
was like, nah, bro.
And
like,
then what he did right
what?
after, shift, beat the
Bro.
defender, weak foot, roof neck. Come
Roofed
on,
it.
bro.
I was like, nah.
Come
bro.
on.
Nobody's playing like him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he's
nobody's
not. He's
moving
not.
like
It's
him
different.
right now. And God forbid, like he gets injured or something bad
Yeah.
happens, we're gonna be like, oh damn, we should have gave him his flowers when we had the chance.
Yeah.
Another
Well,
Brazilian.
I will say this, though.
Fuck, man.
It has been an outpour of love for him.
Yeah.
Like an absolute outpour for him. And actually, I did. Speaking of, I think, did you just mention Neymar?
Yeah.
There was a very interesting article I saw from, I believe it was Mundial. And it's called This Is How It Feels to Be Neymar. The damaging decline of street football in Brazil goes a long way to explaining Neymar's complicated career. Is tragedy really the right word to sum up the 15 years of Neymar as a professional footballer? ? And a lot of it was saying that within futsal and the quickness of how you have to play, you have to get rid of the ball. And yes, it's about these dribbles and these skills and this quick touch and all this tech, but it's about getting rid of the ball to also avoid the tackles and avoid the injury. Neymar's biggest thing in his career was we loved his dribbling, but was his constant holding of the ball too long, the demise of his career, trying to get the contact, trying to get the crazy tackle, which led to all the injuries, to the ankle issues, the knee issues, and that he could never actually stay healthy. Versus if he knew how to just let the ball off and if futsal was still what it was, he could have been, that player that never got those injuries. I thought that was a really interesting perspective on it. And just how futsal is not what it used to be in Brazil, and that kind of affected
I think
how
it was a
Neymar played
mistake.
the game.
I think it was a mistake for him to go to France.
You think it was that?
I mean, where are you going to get tackled more than in essentially Liga?
Why you say that?
Because that's
They
the
just
style of
play.
play.
They just play.
Why do they play like that?
Because it's because that's the style, bro. It's a bunch of West Africans in that league. That's
Right.
what it is.
He's West African, by the way.
I'm
guys.
Cameroonian.
He's I can say Cameroonian. Please put that in the clip.
Are you saying they're not French?
Ooh.
Are you saying they're not French? Are their mothers?
Well, a lot of them aren't
Are their
French.
mothers
A lot
are
of them-
Cameroonian?
A lot of them are.
Some of them are like
That's the Argentina chant.
A lot of them are actually. I'm talking about in the
Literally,
league,
yeah,
Not for,
they're
not
not-
for country.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but at the same time, would he have been in Messi's shadow the whole career too? Hindsight, I think, is a bit
Of course.
2020. So I just thought that was a really interesting view on that.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of the Ballon d'Or ceremony, one of the people that we've been asked to talk about today, our friends at the Bundesliga have nominated Harry Kane as a topic of discussion today.
Okay.
Harry Kane is someone that's had an incredible career in terms of his goal scoring ability. No one can take that away from him, and his talent as a soccer player and as a goal scorer is undeniable. But what's interesting is that time and time again, there have been reports and rumors of Harry Kane also wanting to become a professional kicker in the NFL after his career. It's something that rumors and reports and also inside sources tell me that is something that he is actually interested in doing. And with the NFL playing a game in Munich coming up very soon, a topic that was brought forward would be, how we think Harry Kane would do as a kicker, how we think soccer players in general would do as kickers, and whether or not we think that could actually be something that happens more and more as players look to retire and kind of like enjoy their final stages of their career in the U.S.
So I think Harry Kane specifically would be a very good kicker because we've seen him drop deep into the midfield and launch those 60-yard passes. So he's not someone who can just, he's not just a pure number 9. All he does is get those headers, those tap-ins right in front of goal. We've seen him with the long-range efforts. So if he used his kicking strength technique and tailored it to what it takes to be an NFL kicker, I think his skill set could translate well to the NFL. But speaking of players doing it after retirement, there is still risk when kicking, like especially field goals, that if you break if the offensive line breaks and the defensive line gets through, there is risk of injury.
You might get
that is the one thing. Obviously, kick off is a little bit different, but kicking field goals, you do need that protection. Of course, usually you don't get there to block the kick, but I think injury would be the only thing kind of to consider because, he'll be, 35, 37 by the time he does it. Maybe, actually, no older than that, probably at this point.
But there's older kickers.
Yeah, but I think it would be cool, and I think it would be like a really big legacy for him and also make him a legendary two-sport athlete, which you don't really see anymore, especially as kids now specialize in the sports at an insanely young age that did not exist before. We saw Michael Jordan play basketball and MLB. We saw Deion Sanders play NFL, professional American football, NFL, and MLB, Major League Baseball. So we've seen Bo Jackson too. He played multiple sports too. So I think for Kane, it's like, well, if I can add another sport to my resume, actually at the top level, that's quite the legacy.
And on top of everything that you just said, we do have precedent for this. Luckily for Kane, there is precedent of soccer players going from playing professional soccer to the NFL. So there's a player by the name of Brandon Aubrey who played at Notre Dame for all 4 years in college. He even won the national championship during his freshman year.
As a soccer player?
Yeah, as a soccer player. He then went on to get drafted by the MLS by Toronto FC. Played a couple years there, and then got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys to be their kicker. And he actually set a record last year for the most consecutive field goals made by an NFL kicker ever.
Crazy.
I didn't know that.
So
there
is precedent of going from playing soccer, not being your whole life, and actually being like successful at it, going pro, and then changing careers and be like, I'm gonna be a kicker.
Yeah, and behind you, Seb, is a Venezia jersey, and Tanner Tessman was supposed to be the kicker of Clemson, one of the best college football organizations out there, and the coach Dabo Sweeney, I believe, is an uncle or a godfather or something like close family relation. Like that was an automatic thing for him to do. Now then he found his way into the FC Dallas Academy, professional. Now he's on Venezia, so there's also that direction for a young athlete too. So very interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Your thoughts?
No, I think it'd be really cool. I think, as you said, it'd be culturally like important for someone to go from one sport at a high level to another sport. And I think also with the coming LA Olympics, I think it'd be really cool if football was introduced, or maybe even flag football. I'm not really sure what
it's
they're
flag
going to go
football.
with.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's still going to be kicking involved.
Yeah.
And so for Harry Kane to represent England,
the Great Britain,
kicker, or Great Britain as their kicker,
that'd
would
be
be kind
so
of fire.
funny. Especially because they don't have a soccer team, actually, Great Britain. They played in 2012 at the London Olympics, but they don't have a soccer team because they're worried it's going to affect their status within FIFA as England separate from. That's actually why they don't compete as a football team.
Interesting.
Yeah, on the men's side.
Interesting.
Besides 2012.
That's
yeah.
spooky.
Another question from the Bundesliga. Again, NFL Munich coming up very soon. And so another question the Bundesliga, our friends at the Bundesliga have thrown us, is a fun little comparison between some of the hardest atmospheres to play in sports. That being the concept of playing in Green Bay or up in Buffalo with the Packers and the Bills, and like how cold it can get in the winter, and these places that really, really have football as their main thing. The fan bases like genuinely live, breathe, and die for their teams. Or Dortmund and the Yellow Wall, a very, very similar type of structure. So I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think is harder? What do you think is more difficult to face as a player? A freezing February game up in Buffalo, or...
that's a great question. From a physical standpoint in which your body may endure, I think an away game in snowy Buffalo or Green Bay physically is more difficult, considering the types of temperatures it can reach, the snowfall, the physical damage it takes in getting hit as a running back, wide receiver, whoever it is.
What do you think is harder?
Huh?
To catch a cold football when your hands are freezing, or to take a touch when your feet are freezing?
It's a catch.
I think the catch with the
Cheers.
risk of the hit.
Mm,
I think that's harder.
yeah.
And a
With the
catch
defender coming
has
at you.
more value in an individual game.
Yeah, it's true. Of
Like you
course.
might just have
Yeah,
four
it's-
catches,
it's
is whatever.
true.
If you're
Of
not the
course.
top risk, if you're a wide receiver 2,
Yeah.
4 or 5 catches is that. You as a football, soccer is different because like you get so many more touches on the ball. It's a more fluid game.
It's true.
So that's not necessarily the best comparison.
I was mentioning
um,
like a touch, like
Oh yeah,
like left back pings it all the
Yeah,
way
of
across the field
course.
to the right winger. You gotta,
especially catching on your chest too, type vibe. It's
Chest
tough.
is tough.
Have y'all played in the snow?
I had
a game and my toes
ear
were-
almost broke one time.
Bro, my toes were stuck together. Literally, by the time I got home, I had to like slowly defrost them. 8th grade too. No,
Gabe-
7th grade actually.
Gabe Plag his toes apart.
Bro, I had to like, yeah. And you couldn't even go straight to the hot water. It was crazy. But
No,
I'll
it's dangerous. That's dangerous.
yeah, no, exactly. So I'll give the physical difficulty to those specific NFL away games.
Right.
But crowd atmosphere,
Uh-huh.
regardless of weather, I'll give to the yellow wall.
Yeah, I don't think there's a crowd in sports that is as passionate as the yellow wall. I think
Not the Clippers standing section.
I mean, hey, it's a start. It's a start.
It's a little.
You got to start somewhere.
I
You
know,
got to
but-
start somewhere.
Yeah.
What do you think? What would you rather play in?
Nothing could beat the yellow wall, bro.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, at least on the state side, like nothing is touching
Yeah.
that in any sport, basketball, football.
And the level of unison in their craziness.
Yeah,
Of-
like-
it really feels like a yellow wall.
Because at the end of the day, like we've talked about before, Americans are like embarrassed to be passionate sometimes.
Not Bills fans.
American sports fans sometimes are like a little shy or like embarrassed to be like excited. Now, I'm not saying that's a general that everybody's like that,
Right.
but like compared to just going overseas and seeing people like crying and shouting and
Right.
Yeah.
ripping their shirts off and jumping up and down together for a whole 90 minutes, like
More
it's
history.
it's a different level of
Yeah.
like investment. So when you're visiting those stadiums, you feel that shit. You're like, oh nah, like
Also, stadiums are built differently in Europe. Like
Yeah.
they're actually built as like walls. Like
Yeah.
the concept of
And,
the
like-
yellow wall is built so that the fans sound as loud as possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
Football stadiums are more so like,
open and
you know, they're
spread
billboards
out.
for ads to a
Yeah.
certain extent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. Anyway, moving
Yeah.
on.
Serie A, Balotelli,
Yeah, bro.
your guy.
Oh my
Take it
God,
away.
God.
Can I take it away?
Take it away, bro.
As a lifelong Serie A fan, my favorite player growing up has always been Balotelli. For him to come back to the Serie A and play for Genoa, I think is one of the most beautiful stories in soccer, and I think it's going to get a little bit overshadowed by the Ballon d'Ors right now. But basically, the story is this: Balotelli, for the past 2.5 years, has been saying, "I want to play at the World Cup for Italy. I want to be Italy's
Really?
number 9 at the World Cup."
Wow.
Right now, Italy is in a position where it's not clear who their number 9 is going to be. You have Retegui, you have Scamacca. Scamacca's been a bit injured. You have Moyes, Keane, who's looking much better at Fiorentina right now.
Mhm.
But there is no out-and-out number 9 in Italy like there has been in the past. And Balotelli, some arguably will say, has been Italy's best number 9 in the past 10, 15 years. There is no one that has done for Italy what Balotelli has done in recent memory as a striker. So he took a massive, massive pay gap. We can't necessarily say on the platform how much money he's taking, but he's essentially has decided to be paid per goal to play for Genoa.
Wow.
This is his last dance. This is his chance to say, "Hey, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to Serie A, and I'm gonna show y'all boys
Make
what it
that shit
means."
up, bro.
No, I haven't. No, I swear to God. I swear to God. He's getting paid. Per goal.
No, listen, keep going.
Gabe,
He is.
Gabe.
Yo, he's getting. Yo, he's-
Balotelli
Yo,
is the
no
one
salary?
player I'll believe
no,
it.
no, it's not
he
no
didn't say
salary. I didn't
salary.
say that. I didn't say no salary.
But, like,
it's a 250.
incentive-
It's a 250K minimum. is
It's
what
an incentive-based thing.
he was making 50 mil in Turkey.
That's different though. If you say he's getting paid per goal, you're saying he's
He
not making
is,
shit.
but he's also getting
He's
a
also
salary.
making 250K a year.
no. But you didn't phrase that correctly because a lot of players get paid incentives for you. You made it seem like that's all he's.
I did that on purpose.
Keep it in, but that's why I laughed.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Anyways,
And they're 18th. He pulled he pulled a Dubai.
well, the pie, exactly. So the other thing is that Genoa this season is not doing too well. Their coach, Gilardino, who is a former Serie A legend, a former Italy legend, knows Balotelli well. They played together on the national team. And he said that he thinks that Balotelli is the perfect profile to take Genoa out of the relegation zone, get them the points that they need, and make them stay up. Genoa is also an incredibly passionate fan base. They're a team that's gonna get behind Balotelli as a player. And I just think it's an incredible story because it lines up as you have a player who's looking for a chance at redemption in a league in which a lot of people say that he doesn't have a chance to find that redemption in,
Yeah.
and a club that's looking to find a striker that will lift them out of the place that they're in right now. So, I mean, for me, as Balotelli is my favorite player, I can't wait to watch Genoa games. I'm a Genoa fan. Jerseys are insane. And yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think?
It's a great story. I hope he does well.
great story.
I don't
Yep.
even know what else to say. I just know he's gonna do some shit. I
gonna be
I
fun.
just know some shit's gonna happen.
It's gonna be fun. All I can
Whether it's a
promise
red
is it's
card
gonna
in
be
the
fun.
first 20 minutes, like something's he's going.
And last thing is, I think it's
I just
cool.
know it. I
think
know
it's
it.
cool how like a lot of like the Serie A ballers that like kind of have hinted at or kind of explained how Balotelli is someone that they looked up to and growing up. Leao, Moyes, Thuram. A lot of them are like welcoming him publicly back to the league, and I think that's another cool like showing of solidarity.
That's the OG,
Yeah,
man.
it's the OG. It's the OG coming back.
He walked so they could run.
Exactly.
Type of vibe.
No,
so.
that's thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, he walked
for
so
sure.
they could run.
For sure.
Now Serie A has been very exciting this season. 4-4. Derby d'Italia.
Bro. I mean,
What's going on?
You took it. I spoke about Balotelli. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I have
Chaos.
to say that was probably one of the best games I've watched this season, despite like regardless of what league.
Yeah.
Like EPL, La Liga, everything. That was the best game I saw this season. It was just pure energy, bro. Like you could tell both teams wanted to win. And even when Inter went up 4-2,
Right.
like there was just a feeling like you
It
ain't
ain't
gonna
over.
come back, bro.
Yeah.
I think what's his name? Yildiz came in like around halftime.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like came with so much energy. He was playing like fast pace. He was whipping out the little skill moves, and they kept talking about him like, "Oh, is the number 10 too much for him?" Like, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not like he's too young to be wearing like such a significant number.
For Juventus too.
Bro,
Yeah.
bro came on back-to-back bangers, bro. I was like, nah. So I don't know. It was
good to
just
see.
it was a really exciting game. I guess I didn't even really know like all the history between the two teams. And so just hearing like obviously we know they're two of the like giants in Italy,
The two big.
but I didn't really think about like just
It is the biggest game in Italy.
Yeah, the rivalry that they actually have. And so like hearing the commentators talking about it and kind of getting some of that context was cool too. Seeing the two Thuram brothers on both sides
Yeah,
was cool
fire.
as well. Like
Yeah.
there was just a lot of cool
Crazy
storylines
pick.
behind it. I really wish there was a winner though. Like the last 5 minutes, I was like, yo, somebody has to score.
Sometimes 4-4 it makes it even more classic. I think
Yeah.
about Arsenal,
It's a
Liverpool,
classic
4-4 when Arshavin put up the 4 up. 4-4 is a crazy ass.
I don't know the last time I saw a game with 8 goals.
Bro, that's why when I watch the Premier League, I'm like, what is this? What is this
Yeah.
product on my screen?
I mean,
That's Serie A
there were
every
some
weekend.
Dookie Serie A game.
There actually,
There rarely are, bro.
I think
I've seen
there
some
was
Dookie Serie A games.
a 5-4 in the Prem
Sounds
this
I
this
weekend.
I
to be
watched
fair.
Fiorentina.
Fiorentina,
versus
yeah.
somebody the other day.
Fiorentina beat Roma 6-1 the other day.
That's great. That wasn't the game.
Got you.
There was a 4-3 in the Prem this weekend, so
Yeah, but I bet it wasn't as exciting.
I don't know. Brentford and Ipswich Town, they might be wilding. They're not like, Chelsea and Arsenal and all that.
I have one question before we get out of here.
Of course.
One of the things that I've been looking at recently is the amount of ads that have been popping up in soccer
God.
recently.
In what sense? Like during the broadcast?
Bro, they're trying to put ads in as many places as they possibly can,
Like on kits?
like on kits, like the way.
Spain been on that.
Bro, the way that
need the
Atletico
money.
Madrid is changing the name of their stadium every 3 years.
They're changing it again? What is the name?
It's now the Riyadh Metropolitano.
I mean,
Ooh.
that's not like ads. That's just
That is an ad, sir. That is.
I don't like-
yeah, but that's a bad comparison. That's just ownership of the stadium. That has nothing.
That is the
Yeah.
sale
But
of
that
the
goes-
stadium.
but
rights.
that goes
Actually, not
beyond-
ownership.
that
That's
goes-
the name.
that goes beyond like even just soccer, because that's like they use
No.
that stadium for like concerts and other stuff.
I agree.
Fair.
But it's
That's kind of separate. But I'll let you.
I'm just saying,
I'll
like,
let you cook.
the way that like brand rights and ad names and this and that have been incorporated into every single thing possible, like from patches on sleeves to
yeah.
bro. My question to y'all, and it's a bit of a humorous question,
Yeah.
but like, what would be the limit in terms of where you guys think football fans would accept ads at?
On
in
the
the
pitch.
in the NBA right now, there are ads on the court.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. On the actual field, like if I'm watching the game and I see Spotify, like on
That's a
at the-
broadcasting. It's not really on
at the
court.
Camp Nou, like on the court, I'll be like, all right, come on.
Yeah.
What
Or
about
like in the 18-yard box,
the 18-yard box brought to you by?
low key.
Penalty brought to you by penalty.
Oh,
See, that's what I
low-key-
hate. I hate the penalty moment brought to, like, well, they don't have it, but the
Nah,
Taco Bell overtime.
Now that I'm thinking
Crossbar
about it,
brought to you by.
I swear to God.
some leagues have that like crossbar cam, like they'll have
Oh,
the
Jesus.
The
camera
cam is
in
fine. IBM, all right, cool. But, like, yeah.
Nah, but I'm thinking about it now, and like the right sponsor, like in the 18-yard box, would be like it would be hard.
Like
Fly
what?
Emirates.
No.
No.
All right,
Even
that
if
was a
it's
bad
not. Watch this. And watch
Or
this.
like Nocta. If you got like a Nocta in the 18-yard box, like spray paint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could the same way they paint the actual
Off-white.
grass.
I'll take an off-white.
They could
AC
like
Milan.
paint
Yeah.
it in a way that's like.
I'll
this
take
is
a little
actually
off-white in the
cool.
corner at AC Milan. That I will take. I will
Wait, so
take
are you
that.
saying broadcast or physically on the
Everything, man?
Because broadcast, you can put the overlay that's not really there, like they do with the fake side pieces as
know.
well.
Yeah, either one.
Either one.
What do you think the limit is for fans? Do you think?
I think that would be a huge deal because that's not a thing in footy, and they already have so many ads going around the stadium that are visible,
Right.
which is a little bit different than some of the other ones. So I think that'd be a little OD.
Would you accept branded goalposts?
Yeah, because you can't really see that.
Yeah, I don't know what value that brings to the brand. These brands have so much money.
Would you
for marketing
accept?
dollars, bro?
Would you accept a net that is not see-through but is actually just like a tent with logos on it?
I would not accept that.
Okay.
I mean,
You're wilding.
have y'all ever seen like the butt sponsors, like the
yeah,
back
I
of the?
know.
No, I'm being
Like,
so
Liga
serious.
MX.
Yeah, Liga MX, like some La Liga teams, like they have a sponsor on
Yeah.
like the butt of the shorts.
I mean,
I feel like that's a little OD.
It's a
like
little-
not every part of the short has to be covered with a sponsor, but I also know some of these teams really need the money, so it's kind of like
it's a little OD, but it's actually hard. Like some of the hardest kids are the kids that have like OD sponsors
true.
on
It's
it.
yeah, that's
Because it looks like a little
it's just
mural.
the butt part. It's like the
you're
juicy
afraid of-
couture.
You're afraid of butt?
Not afraid of butt, bro. Never been afraid of butt.
You might be afraid of butt.
On that note, guys,
It's more like I just don't need my ass to be sponsored, bro.
I mean, shit. If it
and
10K per cheek,
and like some of the like sponsored awards, like the bro. Actually, speaking of los pepineros and like the cucumber thing,
Wow.
they've done like Pizza Hut. They brought the pizza out. Burger King. They
Okay.
gave somebody like the Burger King
I was trying
crown.
to
I'm-
understand the connection
like bro,
between cucumbers.
Hetafe, right? Like Hetafe, like
Right.
you did amazing game,
Right.
and they give you the Burger King crown because they were sponsored by Burger King. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
respect these grown men hustling.
what they should introduce though, because you know how they don't really, at least from what I've heard, they don't really do food at stadiums in Europe.
Yeah.
Like not the same way.
Yeah, they don't.
Like
No,
not,
I had to think about-
not the
I've
same
had
way.
food in a stadium.
I had to
but,
think
like,
about
not-
my experiences in the
Not
Bernabeu.
the same
that's all,
way
yeah.
that like food is a big deal. Like
Sure,
here,
yeah,
like
yeah.
chicken.
We don't
and
do
you can, and
concessions.
in England you
Yeah.
can't drink.
That's what I'm saying. Like
England you can't drink alcohol.
You know
because
how
of the
like
hooligans.
you know how like at certain NBA games, like if a team is sponsored by like a Chick-fil-A or something.
If you miss,
They'll be like-
No, if you miss two
They'll
free
be like,
throws,
if
free
you-
Chick-fil-A for everybody. Yeah.
Or like if your team scores 100 points, it's free Chick-fil-A sandwich. They should do that, bro. Like,
Yeah.
everybody gets a pepinito.
everyone gets a cucumber.
Man.
on your way out.
Pepino is the cucumber. A pepinero is the person of the cucumber. Everybody. And that is how we're ending episode 69.
Everyone gets a cucumber farmer.
Everyone gets a cucumber farmer. And that's how we're ending episode 69 of the 5ASIDE podcast.
Oh shit. We're out. Bye.
Peace. Patreon coming soon.
Fuck.